Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days. Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days. Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days.
Win your league, stack that bread, or start a boom and lose instead. Sunday Surefire, let's go.
Sunday Surefire Podcast. It's your host this week, Aaron Downtown Brown. I got the co-host, Ethan Weaver.
Aaron, how we doing?
We are doing, my friend. I am back.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. You and Kamish been holding down the fort, talking rookies and just coming out of the combine, and just had a great episode over running backs, which everyone always wants to hear about, right? So we don't have Kamish with us tonight. You do see this having a little bit of technical difficulties tonight. That's not a third person, so I just had to do a little bit of goofy stuff here on this recording. But Ethan, are you ready to keep talking rookies?
I am. The NFL draft is almost here. It will be here at the end of the month. As we keep saying, the last piece of the puzzle. Looking very much forward to that. So I'm excited to talk some sleepers this evening.
I am too. So as you can see on the screen here, we're gonna talk sleepers. I think you guys the last couple of weeks have been doing a great job just kind of talking, the first two rounds of your rookie draft. With Superflex, you can get pretty deep into the second round and even third round where you get some, pretty solid players. But we want to kind of hit on some of these sleepers we think will, may be able to hit for you. If you traded away some of your early picks and you're just relying on some of those late seconds or thirds that they those garbage trades, the throw-ins, right? But that's what this episode's for. We kind of want to talk what sleepers, if they fall to you in those later rounds, kind of who to target. So Ethan, why don't we start with you? I think we're going a little running back heavy tonight. Which
Always
we know
running back heavy.
That's right. We know there's a lot of them in this class, but let's have you kick this one off.
Yeah, no, you mentioned tossing away like second, third round picks to sweeten some deals and stuff throughout the 2024 season or even in this off season before the NFL draft. And it's funny because I don't know how it is for you, but I know in a lot of leagues I play in, if you're giving away future seconds or future thirds, I mean, they're just essentially deal sweeteners that they don't really move the needle that much. And seconds in general don't really have a ton of value until like right now, when now you start to see the board play out. You start to see, wow, the second round may have a lot of juice. And then you're even thinking about it with some of the players that we're going to be talking about this evening. Hey, the third round, I might get a shot at a Bucky Irving. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a fun time of year. Right now, I mean, from picks 1 through 36, everybody looks good until the NFL draft comes in and nukes some of these players' values. So we'll get into it right now. First sleeper running back DJ Giddens out of Kansas State, 6 feet 1/4 inch, 212 pounds, and just like any sleeper, a year to year, what I look for in these running backs when I'm drafting the third round or even spending some fab dollars on, I want guys that are extremely athletic. The guys that can go in the league, develop, and when given opportunity can really take advantage of it. I mean, AKA Isaiah Grendo last year for the 49ers. I mean, these running backs are constantly coming up every single year that you get for fab or get late in your third round. So these third round picks are starting to become a little bit more than dart throws. But DJ Giddens, as I said, very good athlete, 4.43 40-yard dash. Had a 10-foot 10-inch broad jump, 39.5-inch vert. So very, very explosive. He had 205 carries for 1,343 yards, 6.55 yards per carry. Which actually broke Darren Sproles' record back in 2003. He was 8th in the FBS with that mark of 6.55 yards per carry. So very good numbers for him. And he's just a guy that he shows patience as a runner, but he isn't very good in pass protection. He definitely needs to work on his receiving ability as well. Does not have the surest hands, that's for sure. So he definitely needs to work on that. But he's definitely a guy that I really like, and he's a guy that I definitely like taking a shot on in the 3rd round of my rookie draft.
Yeah, I like this call out here. I mean, it does look like, even though he's got a couple, I guess, first of all, good thing, you don't get fantasy points for pass blocking, right? But I think we all, worry about, how many snaps they, the coaches can, trust them to be in, right, with their pass blocking skills. So that always matters in the, yeah, at the next level. I do like he does get involved with the receiving game a little bit, as well, having over, 20 almost 30 catches there in 2023. I wonder who was throwing to him in 2023.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's throwing it to in 2023, but I mean, in 2024, he had 21 for 258 and 3 touchdowns receiving. Like I said, he was a capable receiver, but I mean, if throws were outside his body and he had to kind of make a play, I mean, you would see him drop some passes, and PFF rated him at 33.6 as a in the receiving game. So he wasn't a dynamic pass catcher, that's for sure. But with his athletic traits, his size, I mean, he's 6 feet 212 with elite explosion and very, very good speed. So he's a guy that can develop and maybe turn into something in the NFL.
I like it. Well, Ethan, I didn't mean to set you up too much, but there was a reason why I talked about 2023 Kansas State players. Because the next guy I'm going to talk about is not a running back, but it was a Kansas State player who did transfer.
He was a transfer. I didn't realize that.
He was a transfer, yeah. So that's what I was trying to joke about in 2023. That's why this guy's receiving stats are just a tad bit better, because I'm going to move on and talk about
there
Will
he is.
Howard. There's the guy. There's the boy. So I'm going to talk Will Howard out of Ohio State. As I mentioned, he was a transfer to Ohio State in 2024. Kind of have his career stats there flashed on the screen, but when you're talking top quarterbacks in this draft class, I think Will Howard gets missed quite a bit. I think the first thing you got to look at is, he's just coming off of a national championship. I know Ohio State's was pretty they were a juggernaut of a team, but the more you look at just his progression from 2023 to 2024, one of the stats I really like that pops out is his completion percentage jumped up to 73% in 2024. As we've talked about, that's really you got to be accurate, you got to be completing passes in the NFL. Opposed to college, you can't just rely on the big play all the time. So I like his completions. He kind of turned his touchdown interception ratio from 2-1 to 3-1 in 24. Again, a little bit better talent he's thrown to, but I think one thing that sticks out to me too with Will Howard is he's able to thread the needle. There's a lot of his highlights that show he can fit the ball into tight spaces. He was great on 3rd down with Ohio State last year too. So I think obviously that translates really well in the NFL. That's when you really needed the most. But we'll definitely have to see what his draft capital ends up being. But I really think he can be a sneaky quarterback in this class. And then I guess just the final comp here where that sticks out the most. He's 6'4", 235. So I know there's another guy 6'4", 235 in the NFL that's doing pretty good with not comparative to Josh Allen quite yet, but Howard can run too. He's a big guy. I as you can see, he can get, you know, 7+ or 10+ touchdowns if he was a starter in the league, right? So I like his size. You know, it also, you know, one thing with Dynasty is, you know, it's going to be harder for him to get hurt. You know, unlike some of the other mobile quarterbacks too. So I think if he's in the right situation, gets drafted by the right team, you know, even somebody like Pittsburgh, right? I know they're passing on some guys, but you know, get that old fashioned offense going. But I think if Will Howard sneaks into just the right position where he can either start from an injury or, you know, maybe if they have a shaky QB1 situation, definitely keep your eyes on Will Howard in this draft. But Ethan, I'll turn it over to you real quick on any thoughts on Will Howard.
I mean, Will Howard, he's a national champion. Obviously, played very well for Ohio State. Lance Zierlein hasn't projected like rounds 4 or 5. Who knows if that projection is going to come to fruition? This quarterback class is kind of an enigma outside, I think, Ward, who's probably going to go number 1 at Tennessee. Outside him, who knows where Shador's going, Jackson Dart. I mean, Will Howard here. But, I mean, Will Howard, he does have some decent quickness. I mean, he ran the 3-cone and the shuttle at the NFL Combine. 3-cone was 7.13, which is not bad. And then his 20-yard shuttle is 4.33, which isn't bad either. So definitely has some decent athleticism. That's 6'4", 235. I think what Aaron Downtown Brown is saying, he's the next Josh Allen, right?
Yes. Mark it down. You've heard it first. Sunday Surefire.
So steal in the 3rd round of your Superflex drafts.
Hey, remember, I was gonna say, remember Herbert? He was a 3rd round quarterback in fantasy too.
Yeah, I mean, in those days of our non-Superflex days.
Yes.
But no, I mean, obviously these guys maybe take a stab in the 3rd round or with your fab. I think Will Howard, if he goes in rounds 4 or 5, it's going to be more fab dollars to get him on your roster. But hey, you never know. A quarterback sitting on your taxi squad isn't the worst thing in the world.
For sure. I mean, we'll definitely see. I mean, I think every player needs a good situation too. Obviously, athleticism can take you through a long ways, but right things need to happen. Like I said, the right scheme, right offense, maybe even the right, maybe unfortunate injury or something like that. They give him a shot at starting later on. But we'll definitely see. But yeah, I guess you heard it here. Keep your eye on Will Howard. But Ethan, let's move right on to your next guy. Talk to me about Damian Martinez.
Damian Martinez, running back out of Miami. He's 6 feet, 200. Well, per the NFL Combine, he was 217 pounds, but he definitely cut some weight to run a faster 40. I believe his playing weight in college is more at that like 225, 230 range. So definitely a bigger back in this class. His first 2 years, he played at Oregon State in 2022 and 2003. And this guy just runs with power, and he has above average athleticism for a guy of his size. Like I said, he cut weight to run a faster 40, and it paid off. He ran a 4.51, which is, I mean, great for his size. And his vert was 35 inches. His broad was 10'4". So decent burst as well. But like I said, he's above average athleticism, big, powerful runner. I mean, he just constantly is knocking defenders back when he makes contact, but definitely a guy that has nimble inside the tackles. He has the ability to set up defenders and make a miss. This guy was the 5th best offensive grade out of all the running backs in 2024 per PFF. So PFF liked him. I liked what I saw. I like a bigger back with size, a guy that can handle the rock and 1st and 2nd down and fall in the end zone a bunch in the NFL. Damian Martinez is definitely a guy I'd be excited to throw a dart on in the 3rd round of my rookie drafts.
Yeah, I like it. It's funny. I think before coming on air, we were joking like what weight to put him in, right? So I think it is kind of interesting to see, what they do to prepare for the combine. As you said, that their playing his playing weight was in the 220, 230 range. Anywhere from that 220, 230 range running back.
It's a big back.
It is. It really is. So I think, in Dynasty, if he can land where you can at least squeak up to that number 2 spot on the depth chart on the right team, that's what, Dynasty managers look for. So I'll definitely be interested to see where he lands.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see where he goes in the NFL draft. Hopefully, he's drafted somewhere in the top 4 rounds. I mean, even the 5th round in a class that's this deep at running back isn't a death sentence. I think Damian Martinez can definitely find his way onto a roster and earn himself some work. He, through his college career, he had 514 carries and averaged 6.2 yards per carry. So for the just looking at his college career as a whole, averaging 6.2 with over 500 carries is pretty good work. So Dan Martinez, definitely a guy to keep your eye on heading in the NFL draft.
Agreed. Yeah, I like it for sure. My next guy I'm going to move on to, he's not quite as big. I'm going to kind of go the other way here with this guy. I'm going to talk Brashard Smith out of SMU. He's stands in at 5'10", 194. I threw his combine results because that's really one of the top things that stuck out for him, prior to this draft time period where I'm actually I got to maybe refer to my notes a little bit just to make sure I get this stat right. But Smith he's in the top 25% athletic score since 1987 out of all running backs, just over 2,000 running backs, obviously, since 1987. So he's in the top quarter percentile as far as his athletic score. So obviously one of the top things that stand out there is his 4.39 40. Just a very quick back. I think, when you look at some of the running backs in classes, I think some of these GMs and coaches, they want speed on their team. They want versatile guys. So, with Brashard Smith having that unique, agility and speed, I think there's going to be a lot of NFL teams that got their eyes on him. And take a peek of his stats there, you can see, he didn't really have much rushing stats in 2023. Only 9 carries for 132 yards. But if you scroll a little bit to the right, you kind of see why. He's one of our favorite situations there, Ethan, where we talk about that a lot, where he was a wide receiver converted running back in 2024. So I know we love that as fantasy managers. Anyone that can kind of be that dual threat, maybe that Tyrone Tracy, if you will, of 2025. So any thoughts on Brashard Smith before we move on?
Brashard Smith, Tyrone Tracy 2.0. We definitely like these receivers turned running back. They become problems out of the backfield in the receiving game. And Brashard Smith has a chance to do just that in the NFL. Obviously running a 4.39. That's, elite speed for a running back. You mentioned the relative athletic score. He obviously tested very high due to that quick 40 there, because his explosion is not where we like to see. His burst score was in the 26th percentile. You see, obviously, the vertical jump and the broad jump a little lackluster there, but obviously the 4.39 propped him up. But you watch him out of the backfield, you watch him split out wide. You can tell he was a receiver, and he becomes a problem out of the backfield. So I think NFL teams are, if used properly, he can be a Swiss Army knife for them. And I am very excited to see what he's going to do in the NFL and where he's going to go in the NFL draft. He was a great kick returner in college. Just overall, good football player. But he should have fresh legs. He only had 253 carries in college. But great ball skills, great hands, and he's definitely a guy to keep your eye on to see where he goes to the NFL draft. And definitely, like I said, another dart that I would like to throw in the 3rd round of my rookie drafts.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, keep throwing those darts, especially.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be throwing them, be
Yeah.
tossing them. Hey, one league I have 5 third-round picks, so I'm ready to go.
Yes, gonna carry you through, take you
I'll
to the
probably
promised
package some of
land.
those up.
That's right. All right, Ethan. Let's move on to Jaden Blue, another guy we had to kind of verify his profile a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Blue, I'm surprised he's not being talked up a little more. He's a running back out of Texas, 5'9", 196. Obviously on the smaller side, but I mean today's NFL, when you're running the speeds he is, and you can use him out of the backfield in that Devon Achan mold. I mean, this is a perfect guy to add to any committee. His testing was very good at the combine. He ran a 4.3840 at the combine, but there is word that he did run sub 4.3 at his pro day. Obviously, you got to tack on some time at your pro day, but I mean, I was seeing times 4.25, 4.28, 4.29. Jaden Blue actually said that he didn't realize, but he had a small tear in his groin, I guess, when he went to the NFL Combine that impacted his 40 a little bit. I mean, 4.38 still great, but I mean, it sounds like he expected to be a little faster, and maybe that slight groin tear impacted him there. But in 2024, he led the Longhorns with 8 rushing touchdowns. Played in 15 games, 134 carries, 730 yards, 5.4 rushing yards per carry. He had 42 catches for 368 yards, 8.8 per reception, and he had 6 receiving touchdowns. But Jaden Blue, he's very quick, agile. He's a weapon in the receiving game, natural hands as a receiver. But obviously being 5'9", 196, he just lacks the density to really stay in there and handle pass protection. So that's something that he's definitely going to need to improve upon, especially if he wants to be the third down back. Obviously, third down backs need to stay in and block quite often. And if he can't get the job done, he's not going to be in the field. So that was one negative. He also had 5 fumbles in 2024. So that is definitely not ideal. He definitely needs to work on his ball security. But for a guy that like Lance Zierlein is projecting in the 3rd round, Chad Reuter, who I like to follow throughout the offseason with these NFL mock drafts, because he's one of the few guys that puts out like 3, 4, 5 round mock drafts. Chad Reuter has him going 51st overall in the 2nd round to the Broncos. Hey, Sean Payton, I mean, he had a smaller, undersized back, Darren Sproles, that was absolutely amazing. Maybe Jaden Blue's Darren Sproles 2.0 here, but I mean, this is a guy that's, I think, definitely being slept on. Keep trade cut. He's the 40th overall player on the board right now. And if we're talking about a guy with that kind of speed that goes in the 2nd, 3rd round of the NFL draft, I mean, I think it's wheels up for Jaden Blue, Jadon Blue, however you pronounce his name. But I think he is a guy that is going to vault up the dynasty rookie ranks if he's a 2nd, 3rd round pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, no, I definitely like it. And I think both with Blue and Smith, for that matter. All these undersized backs, they still got roles in today's NFL for sure. I mean, it's a two back league. Right. So, I mean, I think also depending on your fantasy format too, it's, it kind of even, it's kind of even more worth it, right? Where if you got a full point PPR league too, and, I know a lot of those, receiving backs, they stick out just a little bit more, right? On your fantasy team, you got to throw in a flex. So, there's always spots for receiving backs in the NFL for sure.
No, definitely.
All right, so I'm gonna go a little unconventional here. Not gonna call out one.
Not you downtown. Not
me,
you.
right?
Unconventional.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna do a little strategy, right? So I love talking strategy and dynasty.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. Kind of do one of my strategies I like to do just in general. Try to plan for my fantasy drafts and whatnot. And I'm gonna call out just one strategy I do in particular. So we didn't. One thing you might have noticed, we didn't really talk wide receivers tonight. But one thing I really like to do is just to kind of anticipate what teams need gap fillers or player or to kind of fit their receiving core. And I kind of have a list of teams here. Washington Commanders. I think actually, if I back up a little bit, one thing with Dynasty is it's not always smack dab in front of your face, right? You gotta, as we know, we gotta be a little patient. You gotta look at contracts. If you look at the Commanders, for example, you got a bright future with Jaden Daniels. And on paper, it doesn't look like the Commanders really need anybody with a Scary Terry and Debo they just signed. But as we know, they're both getting old. McLaren is going to be a free agent next offseason as well. So we'll definitely see if as he's approaching his 30s, if they're going to keep committing to McLaren as their number one or not. But I think that's a good example of just try to anticipate contracts and how some of these teams are sitting. Some of these other teams are just more smack dab in your face where they really do need a lot of help at their wide receiver core, such as the Raiders. Yeah, I know they got your boy Brock Bowers, but you need receivers as well. So the Raiders,
Not when you have
Chargers,
Bowers, dude.
yeah, he can do it all, right?
He can do it all.
I think there's a little bit of a reunion with Mike Williams at the Chargers, but I think he's kind of past his prime as well.
Cooked.
He's
Yeah.
cooked, right? So and then Titans need just help all over, right? So some of these teams may go a little bit higher profile, but also just keep in mind just some of these teams who they draft. If they draft a wide receiver, look into that player a little bit, right? If they can squeak into that number 2 spot, I know we one of our claim to fames is calling out Puka Nacua preseason. I think during this time is just saying, hey, there's a chance that Puka can be an every down, every snap player with the Rams. So you got to really just kind of look how their roster build is at the time and what's kind of happening around the corner. So I just wanted to throw that out. I know there's this kind of running back heavy draft, but Ethan, what's your thoughts just on that strategy? And then just any overall, thoughts on just sleepers heading into the draft?
No, I think sometimes people don't look far enough into the future and they just look at what's right in front of them, like the Commanders, right? People might probably look at the Commanders and be like, okay, Terry McLaurin's there, Debo Samuel's there. Yeah, it's crowded. But I mean, Debo, how many more I guess good years does he have left? Not many. I mean, Terry McLaurin are they gonna sign him? He's 27, 28 years old. So if they draft somebody in the first round, at 29, or then maybe, in the second round or whatever, that person could easily find themselves as the Commanders' number 1 or number 2 sooner rather than later, as soon as maybe next year or 2 years from now with Jaden Daniels. So sometimes you need to be patient, but the Commander situation can be changing very soon here. Obviously, with the Titans, you want to pair a young rookie receiver with most likely Ward. They're going to have an early second round pick. They may go in the receiver route. They're in desperate need of one. Calvin Ridley's still there, but there's not much else. Westbrook Akine, he's gone. Tyler Boyd, he's a free agent and pretty much dust at this point. So who is going to be the next young receiver to get paired with Cam Ward? Obviously the Chargers, they pick at 22. So that'll be interesting to see kind of what direction they go. Similar area where they draft. Actually, no, Ladd was early second round pick. So who knows if they're thinking receiver there. I know they've been mocked to they drafting like guys like Hampton and running backs at that spot, which to me doesn't really make much sense, but it'll be interesting. And then obviously the Raiders, who knows? Will they go Tat McMillan at 6? Probably not, but hey, you never know. They have Jacoby Myers there, obviously the man, the myth, the legend, Brock Bowers. But outside that, it's a ghost town. So I mean, if Tet goes 6 to the Raiders, he's going to have every opportunity in the world to get a lot of volume. So it's definitely a good look at like situation for. I think players that like, hey, they're drafting these situations like the Commanders where, hey, it looks crowded now, but hey, what's it going to look like in 2 years? I mean, just look at JSN. JSN was drafted to Seattle. Everybody was like, oh, DK's there, Lockett's there. Oh, it's crowded. I mean, fast forward 2 years, JSN took over as the wide receiver 1 last year, and DK and Lockett are gone. So situation changes so fast, which is why I think situation is so overrated. I mean, the biggest example is AJ Brown when he went to Tennessee. People hated the landing spot. He fell in rookie drafts, and he's an absolute stud. So I think landing spot is one of the more overrated parts of the process. But I mean, obviously, to that point too, I mean, volume is king in fantasy. So if these players can get volume by going to a good landing spot, obviously that's going to give them opportunity, and opportunity leads to fantasy success. So it's definitely worth looking at.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sometimes these rookie wide receivers, they get thrown in as trying to be that 1 or 2 on the team year 1, and they have that rookie slump, and they might not get a shot in year 2. So I think sometimes it really benefits then to be that wide receiver 3 or 4, be behind some of those vets sometimes. So like I said, it's worked out in the past for me, but yeah, every year is different. It definitely, we got our new ambiances of every year, right? But yeah, just want to throw that out there. That's actually the one position group that we'll probably still release here. We've done quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends. Haven't really done a whole lot on wide receivers, so we'll try to get an episode out here before the draft to where if you hear one of those guys laying up on one of maybe these teams, you might hopefully you're all over it at that point. But I think that's all we got tonight, Ethan. Unless you got anything else, I'll let you speak now, forever hold your peace here.
Just excited for the end of April for the NFL draft. Can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. We'll definitely be there throughout the whole way, the whole off season. Make sure you're following us on all of the socials. Please like and subscribe if you're not already. Definitely appreciate it. I got my fancy little Sunday Surefire hat too. If you're a day one, try to grab some swag as well. But that's all we got for tonight, folks. As we always say, peace.